Hey everybody, Henry Fernandez here. I am so excited. I was really looking forward to it, to come to you and share with you another great subject on this platform. I want to talk to you about reevaluate and recalibrate your life. So there's two things you need to do in this season of your life in order to not miss your God moment, in order not to really live an unfulfilled life. You know, so many people, some of you are watching and listening right now, your life has not made any progress over the last couple of years. In fact, some of you are very dissatisfied, with your life. You're not fulfilled. You have a lot of regrets, a lot of concerns, a lot of uncertainties have really taken over your emotions and so forth. And that is because, you just keep going, going about your daily duties of taking care of yourself, trying to win in life, maybe going to school, perhaps studying for some certification. The list goes on and on. Every day we wake up and we're hustling. Let's be honest. We are hustling. We're trying to keep a roof over our head. We're trying to maintain our family. We're trying to, have financial stability. And sometimes we tend to lose the balance. The scale has been tipped. So many people, if I can demonstrate it with my hands, so many people, okay, they're climbing the ladder, the corporate ladder of success, business ladder of success. They're doing well. They're going to school, great education. I mean, it just goes up and up. But the reality is there's no balance. There's no real balance because somewhere along the line, they're suffering emotionally, physically, relationally, and in every way, financially, there's no peace, there's no joy. So there's really no balance. And listen to me, your life has to have balance. You can't just, be happy, be wonderful, great business, great, you're doing well in school, and then you don't have the resources, you don't have, the balance, family time, rest time, and so forth. You have to have that balance. And anytime you find that you're going, and you're not paying attention to, where are you? Are you satisfied? Are you at a good place? Then you're going to miss the mark. You're going to actually, if you're not careful, you're going to burn out. So it is very important for you to reevaluate and recalibrate your life. Every one of us, I know I've done it, and I've done this over and over. There are certain times of the year where I actually reevaluate my life. Okay, Henry, what are you doing? Is what you are doing, the things that you're doing, are those things fostering your desires, your growth? Are they taking you to where you need to go? So, my friend, the first thing you need to do is to establish where you want to be in life. Think about that. Where do you want to be in life? What do you want to become? And perhaps as you're watching, listening, maybe you just need to go ahead and, make that comment. Tell me right now, write it down now. Tell me what you want to become. Businesswoman, businessman. I want to become a technician. I want to become a nurse. I want to become a doctor. I want to become a lawyer. I want to acquire a house. I want to get my certification in this particular. If you don't have a goal right now, there's an issue. I don't care if you're 80. There has to be a goal. You cannot get up every day not having a purpose for your life. You can't. And maybe that's why this podcast today is so valuable and important to you, because you have not reevaluated your life in a long time. You need to reevaluate. You need to look and say, okay, what am I missing? First of all, do I have a plan? Do I have a vision? Without a vision, the people will perish. Where's your vision? You cannot allow what you're dealing with right now to occupy your mind and your energy and your vibes to the degree where it shuts down your ability to dream. We are creatures who are created to dream, and so you dream one thing, after it's fulfilled, you got to dream again. You can't. A man without a dream is a man who's not going anywhere. You're going to be stagnant. So I want to encourage you right now, take the time out and reevaluate your life. I've done that over and over. Okay, Henry, okay, where are you now? Are you behind? Are you ahead of yourself? Are you on pace? Where are you? Where are you emotionally? That's the question. Have you reevaluated your emotions lately? What's your emotions like? And if you be truthful, you see, the worst thing you can do is lie to yourself. The worst thing you can do is to be so blinded to the reality of who you are. Let me say it again. The worst thing you can do is to be blinded to the reality of who you are. It is a shame that so many times you have said to other people, look, this is what's wrong with you. That's not right. You're acting this way, and you're pointing that out to them, but they don't see it. It's the most frustrating thing because they think they're right. They think they're in the right and on the right path, but you on the outside is evaluating the situation, and you're saying that's not good, but they can't see it. That's a dangerous place to be. So you need to evaluate your own life and say, okay, who am I? Who am I? Is God pleased with me, number one? And number two, am I maxing out my full potential? Where am I? What am I achieving? What's my ultimate goals in life? You have to reevaluate. You have to reevaluate your friends, your inner circle. Oh, that's a big one. You've got to reevaluate because you have to understand that some people were meant to be in your life for a season. I know it's very difficult because for me, I like to keep my friends forever. That's just me. I if you're in my inner circle, I protect you. You're in my inner circle. But I had to quickly realize that no fault of people or myself. It's just life. Everybody can't stay in your life forever. And you got to be cool with that. You got to reevaluate and take assessment of, okay, who's in your inner circle too long? Their time might have expired. Think about that. Their time might have expired. Maybe you don't need them there now. And it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean, people will say you dump people. No, you don't dump people. Sometimes people, their time has expired. I've oftentimes used this analogy when it comes to a construction site. Your life is like a construction site. At a construction site, there are different stages of the project. I remember when I was building my home, and of course, it was raw land. They had to dig the foundation. Well, there was a certain group of guys who came and dug the foundation. They put some sticks in the ground at the four corners. They had some rope and they dug in and they dug the foundation in for the wall and they did their thing. And then they did the floor. They cast the floor, the cement of the floor. And I watched it because I would go there almost every weekend just to see the progress of the work. And what I noticed is that there were different tradesmen or different trades that were brought to the project. You had the carpenter, the mason, you got so many different projects, the electricians or technicians, I should say, the electrician and so forth. They came, but they had a specific time to come on the project. And also they had a specific time to leave. Because when their time, when the electrician has done his part, you can't put the electrician, per se, to install the windows or to do the drywalls or to do, that's not, he may able to do it, but his time has expired. And the scaffolds, I saw where scaffolds were put up, and the scaffolds were very important because I have tall ceiling in my house, and the scaffolds help the workers to go up and finish the ceiling and all those things, the electrician to put the light fixtures in and so forth. But then after a while, the scaffolds have to come down. Could it be that, yes, it was okay for you to build scaffold relationships? Those relationships were built to a certain degree, and God used those relationships to help you adjust and to fix and to put in place certain things. And maybe God is saying, okay, they served their time. That's it. Pull the scaffold down. Get rid of the scaffold. And sometimes it's hard to embrace that. But you will never know what I'm saying, if it's true, until you reevaluate your life. What are you getting out of life? What are you getting out from the people, or getting from the people who you're hanging around? What are you getting from that job, that career, that business? What are you getting from the conversations you find yourself in with coworkers and so forth? I've made a decision a long time ago. This was years ago, even before I became a pastor, that if I'm in a conversation and if it doesn't benefit me, if it's not going to help me, I just don't want to be a part of it. I don't know how people spend quality time going in conversations that just not going anywhere. It's just discussing the same thing over and over and over and over and again. No, I want to make progress in my life, and therefore I constantly reevaluate where I am. The things that I do as a minister of the gospel, and even as an entrepreneur or a business person, it's because I constantly reevaluate where I'm at. I'm actually in the reevaluation stage of my life, because at this age of my life now, okay, I understand, listen, I'm no longer 27 when I started the church at 27. I'm no longer 30. I'm no longer 40. Right? It's different. It's a different stage for me now. So I have to then think, okay, in order for me to get to where I need to go, by the time I'm 80, by the time I'm 90, I'm praying to God I'd live to see 100, without any help of anybody. That's my goal. That's my wish. That's just me, but I have those desires. So now I have to say, okay, the method in which you use, Henry, at 27, 30, and 40 may not be the same methods I would use now to get me to where I need to be in the future. So could it be that you are operating off an old method? Even in relationship, could it be that the reason why there's no fire, in excitement in your relationship is because you're still building your relationship on old, expired emotions, feelings, and of the past and so forth, and you have yet to reevaluate. Wait a minute. You should be saying this to yourself. Wait a minute. Okay, let me stop for a moment. The things that I'm doing, how is it helping me? Think about that. How are the things that I'm doing in my relationship, are those things helping me? For example, you're dating a person right now. Before I go into the dating, your desire is to find the perfect mate, right? The perfect mate. You want, and when I say the perfect mate, not a perfect man or a woman, the person who's compatible, a best fit for you, right? So that's your desire. And every day you get up and you're saying that's your desire. You may be fasting and praying about it and so forth. But, you have to begin to say to yourself, okay, what are you doing that is correct to attract the kind of man or woman you want? Because you see, you may be scaring those people away from you based on your conduct, the way you speak, your attitude, your personality. You got to reevaluate your personality. You know, if you want a beautiful, attractive young woman, a woman of purpose, a woman who truly loves you, a woman who can commit to you, a woman that you can trust with your heart, then as a man, you got to reevaluate yourself and say, wait a minute, what am I doing to foster that kind of attraction? You know, am I attracting those kinds of women, or am I turning them off? So first of all, reevaluate your attitude. Maybe as a young man or a man in general, your attitude is what's turning off these ladies from approaching you. You are, full of yourself. You may be a lot of, ego in you, and that has its place. Maybe you just don't know how to speak and approach a woman correctly. Maybe you're self-centered, like I said. There could be things that you're doing to hurt yourself. You just need to reevaluate, and reevaluation sometimes will humble you. It will humble you. It'll get you to that place where you'll say, wait a minute, okay, I'm hurting my own self, right? Because the good women that I'm looking for, I'm not attracting them to me, they're turned off. And the women that are attracted to me are women that they're no good for me. They're no good for you, because those women, again, they haven't reevaluated their purpose either, their lives either. So again, you've got two people who are dysfunctional trying to merge together, and that's just total chaos. You got to look, what are you doing that's wrong? Maybe you're not disciplined. Maybe you are not settled, right? Maybe your mind is wandering still. You're confused. You don't know what you want. Same thing with a woman. You're trying to, I want me a nice guy that I can, date for a while, settle down with, and so forth. But you got to watch your attitude. You got to watch how you speak. Listen, a lot of women don't understand that men listen to what you say. And what you say can either help you or hurt you. So you got to look into yourself and reevaluate because you got to understand this. Just because you desire, just because that's you, that's your personality, that's who you are. I hear people say this all the time, and I know I'm going to get myself in trouble for this. People always say, accept me for who I am. No, don't do that. Don't ask somebody, and I understand what you're trying to say. Accept me for who I am. I understand that, but what if what you are portraying is not acceptable? Think about that. You can't ask someone to accept your foolishness, your dysfunction, your insecurities. You can't ask someone to accept your lies, your craziness. You can't have someone to accept that. You may accept it, but others are not going to do it. So don't tell people, accept me for who I am, until you reevaluate yourself. And when you feel that you are presenting your best authentic self in a fair way to the other person, then you can say, please accept me, because then you shouldn't change your good self with good qualities just to please somebody else's dysfunction. Think about that for a moment. So maybe you need to reevaluate your thoughts of accept me for who I am. I used to do that myself, but I changed because I reevaluated myself. No, maybe I need to, what can I do to improve myself? Because at the end of the day, you should never want to present yourself in another relationship that will hurt, offend, or bring harm to the other person. You can't ask somebody to accept that. And no wonder so many relationships are failing today, because people don't reevaluate themselves. They're quick to judge other people and evaluate people and say, you're this, you're that, but we don't turn the searchlight on ourselves. You're married and so forth. When was the last time you reevaluate yourself? Okay, am I loving the way I should? Your relationship is going in the wrong direction. Maybe you have some problems in your relationship right now. You cannot listen to me. And I know many of you are turned off and you don't want to hear this and so forth. See, that's it, because you're full of yourself, because you've got personal issues that you don't want to deal with. But if your goal is to have a healthy relationship, if your goal is to really win in marriage, I am telling you, you've got to get off your high horses and you got to humble yourself and evaluate and say, okay, what am I doing that's contributing to the dysfunction in this relationship? That's it. You can't point fingers at him. You can't point fingers at her all the time. You got to say to yourself, okay, what am I doing? How am I handling my spouse? Am I giving my spouse respect? Am I loving my spouse? Am I compromising with my spouse? Think about that. Am I trying to understand my spouse's side of the conversation? Am I a good listener? Am I a safe place for my spouse? Think about that. Am I willing? Here's the big one. Am I willing to forgive and work towards redemption and to forget? Because redemption brings a sense of clearing the debt, clearing the wrong, and move on. But if you are a person and if you don't reevaluate and be truthful, you will sit there and you will be in 2022 still talking about something that happened in 2005, in 2005, in 1995. Or whatever the time may be. It's amazing to see how many relationships constantly, I'm talking about it. It's true. Even in your own life, you can see it. Look at the conversation you've been having with your spouse lately, and it's bringing up a lot of files. We have a tendency to go into our files and pull out stuff as evidence saying this, and some of the files don't even exist. We create files. We create files because of our emotions, because how we're driven, and we don't reevaluate. Listen, it's sad to know that there are people who can have healthy, strong relationships, but they don't know how to reevaluate and change. Reevaluate and change. Your same thing with your finances. Reevaluate your spending habit. I had to do it. It has changed my life. I stopped ignoring it. I stopped trying to think otherwise. I stopped living to please people, to impress people. And I reevaluated how I was spending money and recalculated the direction of my life, or recalibrated, if you will, the direction of my life, and found that there is a way out of debt and living a stress-free life when it comes to finances. And you can do that. But you got to reevaluate, be honest to yourself, and say, look, I'm spending more than what I bring in. And though I want to live like this, the reality is I have to live like this now until I graduate to afford over here. That's what you have to do. Most people will not reevaluate, and if they reevaluate, the moment they assess the thing, they will not recalibrate. They're like, forget it. No. I still want to drive that car. I still want to live in that apartment. I still want to buy what I want, right? I want to buy the shoes. I want to buy the hat. I want to buy the dress. I want to buy the suit. I want to go to this party. It's amazing because we're not willing to recalibrate. We're not, and that is dangerous. Recalibrate. Recalibrate is suggesting that you're willing, watch this, to find a different route. You're willing to get on the right path. You're willing to get it right. You're willing to use a different route to get to the destination that's in mind. Are you hearing me? You got to be. But you have to reevaluate. I remember one time we were driving to North Carolina, right? And this was Christmas Day. Christmas service was done. We're driving to North Carolina. And going. Never been to Raleigh before. In some part it was snowing and everything like that. And back in them days, we didn't have what you call these electronic satellite navigation system and everything like that, and so forth. So, of course, I made a wrong turn, and I wasted literally about 4 hours a wrong turn. But I didn't have any navigation system. Back in them days, you had to have you go to the gas station or some store and you buy the map and then you follow the map. Y'all remember that? That's how we used to do it. I didn't know any better. Some of you are like that. You've taken wrong routes in life because you know what? You didn't have the proper tool to get you to where you needed to go. Right? So you wasted time. You end up marrying the wrong person. You end up dating too many wrong jokers, male and female. Right? You made bad financial decisions and so forth. Yeah, you made a wrong turn. Right? I get it. You made a wrong. Your business didn't succeed because you were too eager. You didn't ask questions. You didn't invest into knowledge and getting information to help you, to grow your business and so forth. Here it is now. You're in your 30s or 40s, and you could have gone to school to acquire that master's degree that would have probably opened more doors for you. I get it. Like me, I missed the mark. I goofed up. I derailed. I went to a wrong turn. And so forth. But you know what? In modern times today, we have no excuse. It's blatant ignorance and willful disobedience. Because not too long ago, a few years ago, with all these electronic navigation system and so forth, I was driving from Atlanta to Fort Lauderdale. I was in the car by myself, driving down. And when you get to the intersection, you come right into downtown Atlanta, where 75 and 85 merges together, I drove past there, listening to music, feeling good, and just meditating. And you're driving and you're just meditating. Your eyes are open. I'm not distracted with no phone call. I'm just listening to music and I'm just driving and so forth. But then it came where now 75 South split to the left and 85 split to the right, where 85, that's the route I would normally take to go to the airport if I was flying back to Fort Lauderdale. Well, for whatever reason, I'm just there getting distracted, and I started, turn to the right, 85, and ignoring that I should have went 75 south. That would take me all the way into Florida. Well, I took 85, and I'm driving. After an hour, I'm thinking, these places don't look familiar, but they, on one hand, they look familiar. The other hand, I'm like, I don't remember this. I don't remember that. And I'm just going. And I lie not to you. I ended up in Montgomery, Alabama. True story. I saw the sign, "Welcome to Montgomery, Alabama." I freaked out. I was like, what? No, I couldn't believe it. I'm looking at my gas gauge, needle, and I'm like, okay, what do I do now, and so forth. And all along, it dawned on me. Oh God, please hear me today. All along, it dawned on me. The navigation system, watch this, was saying something to me, but I totally ignored it. It kept saying, "Recalibrate." And it's kept sending me in another direction. But the music was so high. And I'm pumped up and I'm getting into the rhythm of the music. And yeah, I can dance. Trust me. Stop laughing at me. I can dance. I can listen. I can throw it down. Now, I know you're thinking that I can't. But listen, these legs, I might not have grown up into the club. But don't fool with me today. I'm telling you, I can throw it down. I was hiding my music, ignoring the little woman's voice telling me recalibrate. And you know what I did? At that moment, I said, I need to follow the instruction of this woman, gassed up. And of course, it took me way out because now the way she took me, I had to go, I think, to I-10 to go all the way east. I was angry, I was bitter, but it was my fault. The moral of the story is, okay, first of all, many of you, the reason why you cannot reevaluate and recalibrate is you get distracted. You get distracted. You get all in your feelings and the rhythm of life and things and even this podcast. This podcast is that small voice the Holy Spirit is sending your way. This is for you. You needed this. You need to pay attention. This is wisdom. You may not like some of the stuff he's saying. It may hurt. You might have logged off already. You might have got tuned out or hurt and turned off, but you're missing it. And what's going to happen is you're going to end up at places where you didn't intend to go. You're also going to waste time, energy, money. And then when you finally have to recalibrate now, it's going to cost you. Now, you will get back on the right path, but I could never regain all that lost time. And I had to pay for it. Gas. I had to. Delayed my time to end up back in Fort Lauderdale. And perhaps that's what's happening to you right now. That you know, God's talking to you and he's telling you your life has greater meaning than it has right now, than what it is right now, I should say. And you need to reevaluate. You may have to make some tough decisions. You may have to walk away from some people. You may have to shut down some desires. Yes, let me say it again. Shut down some desires. And let the Holy Spirit recalibrate your new direction. I hope I helped you today. I hope you will comment and let me know what you think about the podcast. Did this speak to you? Maybe you know someone who needs to hear this. Why don't you forward it to them? Why don't you tell them about the platform that you watched it on, which is Spotify, Apple, or YouTube, or my website. So thanks again. I'm here to help you, man. I want to see you win. I truly believe in you. And the things that I say is never to get you turned off or angry, whatever. It is to help you. Just reevaluate and recalibrate. Thanks again.